But first this evening, the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville has just opened a new exhibit on a performer from Maine.
As far as we know, no one from Maine has ever received this honor, and it's no surprise that the hall chose someone whose life and career are a story well worth telling. Dick Curless is arguably the most successful country singer ever to come out of Maine.
Let the circle be unbroken, by and by, low, by and by.
Curless was never a household name, but he remains a favorite of a lot of discriminating listeners, some of whom work at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville.
There are several of us on staff, myself included, who are big fans of Dick Curless and his music.
An exhibit devoted to Dick Curless is now on display at the Country Music Hall of Fame and will stay there through January of 2024. Mick Buck played a major role in putting the exhibit together with help from Curless's family. I understand that you came to Maine as you were putting this exhibit together.
Yes, I did. Once the Curless family learned of our interest in his career, and again, they let us know of this collection that they had kept. I was invited to come up and take a look at it. Spent a wonderful day at their home, just going through this trove of material, ranging from instruments and stage clothing to just a wealth of documentation of Dick's life and career.
Dick Curless was born in Aroostook County, and although his family moved to Massachusetts when he was a boy, he returned to Maine as an adult and made it his home. And it was at a radio station in Bangor that Curless recorded his signature song, the 1965 top 10 country hit, A Tombstone Every Mile.
It's a stretch of road up northern Maine that's never, ever, ever seen a smile. If they buried all the truckers lost in them woods, there'd be a tombstone every mile.
There's not much question about Dick Curless's talent as a musician. He stands on his own in that regard, but he also has a compelling story. And when you put the two together, that really makes for something that people should know about, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely. The fact that he chose to remain based in Maine for almost his entire career, again, by choice, I think is such an interesting facet.
When Dick Curless sang about hard times, it was no act.
Count 'em all, there'd be a tombstone every mile.
He had the voice, the presence, and the authenticity to be a star. But as he told Don Kerrigan in the 1980s, life on the road as a touring musician nearly did him in.
Like they'd have me in Portland, Oregon one night, and then the next night I'd be in Miami, Florida, and I'd barely make it.
Wrestling with his demons, Curless eventually decided to come home to Maine, putting stardom out of reach.
Like I crashed when I was with Haggard in Carolina. I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I just became absolutely exhausted, and the booze and the pills and all that jazz was a crutch to keep me going,
The exhibit at the Country Music Hall of Fame will introduce Dick Curless to countless people who are not familiar with him. His daughter, who lives in Maine, says the family is excited about it and about a new Dick Curless CD coming out in February. More than 25 years after his death, Dick Curless is having a moment. What do you hope visitors will get out of seeing this exhibit?
A basic knowledge and awareness of who Dick Curless was, and also hopefully they will go away with a sense of what just a unique and soulful human being he was. Everyone who knew him seemed to just hold him in such high regard as a person, as well as, an artist. And, it's not something you necessarily come across all the time in the music business.
Are we not surprised that Don Kerrigan did a profile of Dick Curless? I'm not sure when. Don's not sure when. I asked him about it. We think maybe 1980, 81?
Yeah. I love that he had a matching scarf to go with Dick's red outfit as well. That was I noticed that. That was really nice, Don. Good job with that.
People who aren't familiar with Dick Curless really need to get to know him. He's one of the major talents ever to come out of the state of Maine.
No, and anytime now that I'm hearing his music, my feet start tapping. I want to yell yee-haw, and he's really, really good. And to be somebody who got to go, that man who went through all of his stuff, what an amazing piece of history to be able to just kind of dig through. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. So that exhibit, which is called Dick Curless, Hard Traveling Man from Maine, will be on display at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville through January of next year. And as we also mentioned, Dick Curless's daughter, Terry Curless-Chinick, tells me that the CD is currently in the works, scheduled, or rather with Peter Goralnik, who's one of the great music writers in America, and Marty Stewart, who is a Country Music Hall of Famer himself, doing the liner notes for the CD.
So cool. So that CD due to be released on February 18th exclusively through Bull Moose Music, and it's available for download on dickcurless.net.